for the Behr DeckOver paint. This is the Behr DeckOver Premium paint, and this has been about a year. That's the reason I'm doing this review, is because the paint's pretty bad. So let's go ahead and get a closer look. Alright, so this is pretty much our deck. Our deck is about 20 by 33, and you can see this is about 1 year, almost to the day. It's the beginning of June right now, and we put it on the middle of July of last year, 2016. We live in New Jersey, so we experience all of the seasons pretty much, and it's pretty bad. And I did contact Behr, and they said to make sure that we did clean the deck beforehand, which we did. It was clean. We cleaned it with their cleaner, which is really expensive, maybe about $20 or so. And then we bought the paint. We bought 8 gallons of it, which is, you know, $150, $160 for a 5-gallon tank, 5-gallon bucket, I should say, which was pretty expensive. And then another 3 gallons. So yeah, it was quite expensive. And we're getting this after just a year. You can see just how horrible this is. So anyway, we followed the directions of the paint, of the cleaner. I cleaned it on a dry day. Cleaned it really well. I scrubbed it with like one of those deck brushes, one of those the deck brushes that you use like on a boat, and applied it with a roller 3 days afterwards, of which none of those days did it rain, or was it any wet. It was 70, 80 degree weather. The day that I applied it was somewhat shady, but still 70 degrees. I figured this was going to be the perfect time to do it, and yet it wasn't. After a few months, maybe about in the winter, it started to really chip, crack a lot. And then now, like I said, it's June now, so a few months after that, with some work, it's really gone downhill. And you can see from the door here, we do have a rug that's kind of old, but you can see that it does have some wear underneath and near it. But yet over here, where this rug never goes, the paint's starting to chip. And this is pretty much our desired path from the door to the walkway. We do have a smaller dog who does rip it up, but you know, she doesn't really go over here to the deck, 10 feet over, nor does she run around over here, which is pretty far from the door itself. We have good gutters, so the rain doesn't really fall down off the gutters. It just, you know, goes the correct way down the gutters, but we still have really bad paint. And I'm going to have to pull this up because I'm afraid of the paint trapping any liquid underneath of it and destroying my, the wood. So now our deck's going to be destroyed, if we don't act in time. You can see it rained, yesterday, and you can see it's still somewhat wet here. This one part that I pulled up. And this is just, we have friends over, and this looks like crap, complete crap. You'll walk over it, and you can see I'm not even pulling hard, just this paint just comes right up. It's just really bad. I contacted Behr, and they made sure that they asked me if I cleaned it with their property. Maybe I didn't clean it right and I didn't apply it correctly. And that was as far as we got. So I'm really hoping that this video tells people Behr DeckOver Premium paint, this has a slight texture to it too, is not all that great. I had a really bad experience with it, and I would not buy it again. If they want to come out here and pay someone to take this off and reapply it correctly, maybe that'll be right, but I'm not dealing with it, and I hope no one else does, because this is complete garbage. And yeah, this furniture does have these plastic rubber bottoms to it, so they're not scraping on the floor, so it really shouldn't be pulling this paint up as much as it is. Look at that, this is horrible. Almost $300 in on paint, not to include the $20 for cleaning, the day of applying, a day to clean and a day to apply the paint. This is unbelievable. And this is, like I said, about 11 months out from when we applied it. And you can see it just gets worse when you get closer to areas that you actually step on. These steps are destroyed. You know, and this is where the dog really goes down, so I could say, you know, she attributes to it, but there's areas that she doesn't even go to, you know, that are impossible. And you can see this is where it kind of collects when it is windy a little bit, or when I take the broom out and sweep it a little bit. This is just where these large pieces of paint just collect. And the dog doesn't eat them, thank God, but I'm afraid, what if she did? Or when we have a little kid coming around, you know, they walk on this and eat it. So this is really bad. This Behr Deck over is overpriced, over everything. Again, we're in Jersey, so we do have rain, we do have snow, we do have heat, and this is just not cool. We've even tried to apply another gallon of paint to some areas. We didn't use all 8 gallons, we had a little bit left, so we've used some. Let me see if I can find where. Actually, right around here, it looks like it. You can kind of see a different, hope you can see that, a different tinge of color. So you can see we applied, because this is where it was really bad, so we tried to clean this off and then reapply it, and it still is. I mean, you can push on this, you know. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but you can see it just moves. It just bends and breaks. This is garbage. This is complete garbage. So, you know, I'm not sure what product we should go to after we chip this off, but, you know, I don't want to walk on a Behr deck, and we can't afford a Trex deck, so we figured $300 would be a decent investment for a good deck. But anyway, the Behr DeckOver Premium paint, I would stay away from it. Do not get it.